Yo, it's Joe and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be checking out Bitterness and Dread, episode 2 of Exandria Unlimited Calamity. As always guys, I'll be taking notes as I watch. If there's anything I miss, anything that you guys see that I might benefit from knowing, as long as it's not too spoilery, let me know in the comments. And stay tuned till the end for my thoughts. But other than that, let's see what this bad boy's about.
Hello and welcome to Exandria Unlimited Calamity. I'm your humble GM, Brennan Lee Mulligan. It's so wonderful to come back here for another episode of Calamity. Now,
It sure
last
is.
week, I didn't talk very much at the top of the show. This week, I'm not going to make the same mistake. I'm going to talk a little bit longer and give Marisha time before I throw to her for some announcements. So,
Good guy, yeah.
Marisha, with some announcements!
Oh my
There you go.
goodness. Perfect throw.
I'm getting
Had
the
time
hang
to
of it.
prepare.
I'm getting the hang of it.
I am so excited, you guys.
Huh. I feel like they dressed up a little bit or tried to appear a little bit like their characters, how they were described at least. Maybe I'm wrong, but I see what Lewis is wearing there and Lou, and I see Marisha, she's got like the floral looking stuff, and like the flash that I saw of Sam looked like he was wearing something that Loquacious would wear. I think hold on. I mean, it was real quick. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing
so
here.
excited, you guys, to announce A Familiar Problem, which is a new one-page RPG from Darrington Press. Now, this is a game of magical familiars on a mission that was created by myself. Wow. I know.
I feel like Sam is. I don't know about Abria, but nah, she kind of is too. I don't. Travis, not really. I don't know, but maybe am I overthinking? Maybe I'm overthinking.
That was created.
I feel like they're trying to like wear like
by
a thing or two to,
I know.
you know, identify as their character.
Alongside Honey Heist designer Grant Howitt. Let's go! Also Crash Pandas, he's the best. Love you, Grant. In A Familiar Problem, you'll play as scrappy and stressed out familiars, just really trying to get a grip on the chaotic lives that your adventuring party subjects you to. And you try to make a difference any small way that you can, with what little abilities that you can. To prove that you're up to adventure, band together and undertake a daring quest of your own. Now you can find the game first at US stores participating in Free RPG Day on June 25th. Internationally on July 23rd.
Oh, cool.
And we'll release it on a big scale later this year.
Big scale.
Big scale.
Scale release,
Big
guys.
scale
They call me
release.
Big Scale.
So stay tuned, but go to your friendly local game store first and support them and get
Dope.
some free RPGs and free RPG Day. You can learn more at darringtonpress.com. In addition,
Oh, wait, there's more? Announcement number 2.
announcement number 2, Foresight
There's
Dive,
more.
guys. It's back. Episode 3 airs this Tuesday, June 7th at 7 p.m. Pacific on Twitch and YouTube. That is the first Tuesday of the month. Come listen to people talk and fuck around.
In the calendar.
It's great. It's in the calendar. Travis, for the merch announcement.
I gotta throw. You guys, it's 2022, which means we have a new Pride shirt.
Hey.
Oh, dope,
Come
dope.
celebrate Pride with our new "It's Love That Makes People" T-shirt.
What a nice
I
shirt.
should really hold it up. God, Laura's gonna kick my ass. Look at all the little dice and stuff.
So cute.
A portion of each of these sales go to our charity partners at Outright Action International, which is a nonprofit aimed at researching, documenting, defending, and advancing human rights for LGBTQIA plus people around the world. We love them. We've been working with them for years, and grab your new Pride shirt.
Yay.
Pick it up. It's probably been a long time. It's probably been out. Sold out.
Good announcements all around. For those of you coming back, this is episode 2 of Exandria Unlimited Calamity, a vision of an ancient past in the world of Exandria at the ending of the Age of Arcanum and the beginning of something strange strange and horrifying. For those of you that want to come in and join us, again, this is episode number 2. I know I'll do, I suppose, a recap, like a little bit of a recap. Last week we met.
Sure, let's do it.
Last week we met our wonderful heroes of Avalier in the Ring of Brass, the somewhat under the radar council of those who actually do the moving and shaking of the flying city of Avalier. We move and we shake. We met the Guildmaster of the Golden Scythe, Nidus Okiro.
That's the name of my character.
The Keeper of Scrolls, Pesha Porco. First Knight of Avalier, Sir Xerxes Ilres. Herald of Avalier, Loquacious Sealy.
Oh, hello, thank you.
Architect Arcane, Laren Koramar Sealy.
You're welcome.
And Senior Site Warden, Sarit Pinch Agrupne. On the eve of the replenishment, which is the great holiday, once every 7 years, after a long 7-year venture, the city of Avalier, traveling along Exandria's many ley lines, returns back to Cathmoira, its terrestrial sister city, and realights as the peak of the mountain on its ancient base, where once it stood as a full mountain, and all of the magic that Avalier has stored up in its etheric net, all of the ether that the city has traded for and gathered and bartered for, is released into the continent of Dominus, where it creates a flourishing of crops and newfound magic and all sorts of wonders, and replenishes the land. And we are on the eve of such a replenishment this very day. However, some strange tidings have come to the city.
Something wicked is coming.
Artifacts, some debris, some things broken, corroded, and dispelled made their way aboard the city from its last port of call.
Talking about Bolo?
Bolo.
Best character. Bolo.
Rude, dude.
Pretty rude. Pretty rude. To call someone debris. If I get called debris, you are debris, my man.
I don't think he's wrong.
I don't mind.
I don't mind. Why you call me this? The important thing is this: the detritus of the ritual of Vespin Chloris. Look him up! They did a whole video about the guy and what he did in the history of Exandria. Literally, you can go look it up. It's an amazing video. It's rules.
Should I look it up? Or is it going to be
Made its way
spoilery?
aboard Avalier.
I probably shouldn't look it up.
Something rotten within the heart of the city has begun to be exposed by our brave heroes. Only time will tell if they have caught it before it is too late. Without further ado, we return to Avalier and Exandria
go.
in tonight's episode.
Let's go.
Critical Role. Let's do it.
Get the fancy little intro again. Now let's see if I can piece a couple things together a second time around with this intro. Maybe things I didn't catch last time. But I see how the theme of brass is coming in. You know, got the brass chains. Like a god reaching out to its people, maybe. Maybe that's the different domains of the gods, is what all those colors are representing there. Let's see what else we got. Oh, wait a minute. We got a horned red person there. Maybe that's the horned one, the betrayer god. He's standing next to a girl, but on the other side, at least it looks like a lady, anyways, on the right. Yeah, so I'm assuming that each of these pictures that we're seeing on these different stained glass illustrations are basically portraying what we see in the background, which I'm assuming are like the different domains of the gods, because this initial one right here has a bunch of different ones with a bunch of different colors. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm thinking anyways. So it's like the gods and then their domains in the background. there's the matron. This one I don't really know. I don't know yet. I don't think we've been introduced to this yet. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. Looks like a gem of like some sort of like jewelry, a pendant. This is the Flying City, of course, but there's a couple of those. Alright, that's what we got so far. And I'm assuming that this hall here is basically the hall where it all started. In the what is it, the Ring of Brass or the City of Brass? I forget. I'm not good with the names, but yeah, so here we go. That's my 2 cents on what I'm seeing here. And now it's all destroyed in rubble, so we're gonna find out how it turns to calamity and ruin. There we go. So that's what I'm seeing for the intro. And we'll see if I'm right.
We return to exactly where we left off. There will be no skipping forward. The
Let's
events
go.
of this night are all a little bit too critical, a little bit too close together. Important things happen in the span of a single breath here on the eve of the replenishment. We return now to a small room off the side of the grand banquet hall in the Palazzo Porco, where Sarah de Grupnin crouches in a room with a disanimated scarecrow soaked with champagne, a mutilated dead body covered in carved runes and blood, and a cracked mirror in which you now only see your own reflection. Where do we find our intrepid sight warden in this moment, having just witnessed the screaming visage of Vespin Chloris? And I will clarify here in this moment, it is a face you recognize. Easily done.
But you see what I mean by they're trying to wear like either a color or represent a little bit of what their character looks like and what they're wearing. Like, especially Nidus. You know, you got Patia wearing like a little bit of a floral. Xerxes has got like the black and blue kind of looking outfit. I feel like Travis is just kind of maybe doing his own thing. I don't know, but I mean, it's a black shirt. I guess it's a little more neutral. You know, but he's doing like that whole thing for Sariat. We got Larian over here. They have like a multicolored sort of thing where it's like kind of like purple and gold or whatever, but Aubrio's wearing like all these multicolored things. And then of course we have Loquacious, and he wears a bunch of different things, obviously. Very loud outfits, right? And yeah, this is definitely different. But again, I don't know. I could be right. I could be wrong. I don't know. But this is just, that's what I saw in the beginning, what I was talking about.
It is a face you recognize. Easily done at the Hawk's Nest, at the Hall of Eyes back in Cloudstone. Every senior Archmage, anyone in any terrestrial city, anywhere on Exandria that you have traveled, has their image recorded and their arcane mark written down to be recreated at a site warden's discretion with a minor illusion. So you, earlier today, when you were going into the room, had Vespin Chloris's face animated with illusory magic in front of you to know the man by sight. Although I cannot say that you recognized him well in the mirror, given that most of the skin of his face had been peeled off.
He threw his hand against the mirror and shattered it, right?
He dived forward. It could have been his hand or his head or something along those lines that shattered the mirror.
And then disappeared.
Yeah, in the moment of its breaking, disappeared, and you were looking at a mirror
I
again.
pressed it since last session.
I also forgot the scary part. Yeah. It was legitimately scary.
Perfect tech. Sarah will stand there with his hawks still drawn, sort of at a ready position. He'll say, "Well, that's not something you see every day."
Perfect.
I love the accent that he puts
I'll
on.
holster the hawks, and seeing this mangled face next to the the Hamidas. I don't remember what it was. I'll go through it again because I never finished the investigation of the actual
Scarecrow.
Right.
You conclude your investigation there. You arrive at what you assume, normally in a construct there would be some animating thing, there'd be some glyph or some point of interaction where there would be, its heart, its engine, something central to kind of animate the thing. You go into the Hadmadad. Most of it is just fabric and a little bit of stuffing. There's some sort of just something to sort of pad out the clothing a little bit, because these are just sort of for menial tasks. At its center, there is a glyph with the emblem of the golden scythe on it.
Which makes sense.
Created by the golden scythe.
Yeah.
I think you would know on your investigation check. Actually, for this one, go ahead and give me an Arcana check, if you'd be so kind.
Okay. Yeah, that's the big numbers, kids. Hang on. Here we go. 12.
Sweet.
You have
Level 14.
level 14, yay.
Yay. Well, for his character, it's
you-
understandable, right?
On a 12 is enough for you to know that you are disturbed by the lack of animating material within this Hadmadad. I mean, you know that the Golden Scythe has had to find some way
to like
put a fleet
cheaply,
of constructs
yeah,
out
make
on
these in
the
bulk.
market.
Yeah.
These Hadmadads are not only created by the Golden Scythe, they are sold. People can buy them. You can get them in different colors. You can customize
that's
them to whatever
cool.
your house crest is. They
Like a
sell
life-size
these things.
Bionicle
They're-
that does what you want.
And so as a result, you're wondering if it's like there's no proprietary technology within it, but you're looking, it's like opening the hood of a car and looking in and just seeing like a Toyota emblem and no engine.
Yeah, I was literally just about to say, so if I was Sarah at this moment, I would approach Nidus and say, can I inspect one of your other Hadmadads to see like what the differences are? Or I would even approach Nidus himself, ask the same thing, but also have him examine all this stuff as well. Because literally, like, what's the best person to ask about this stuff than him? That's what I would do.
You're like, where's the thing that makes it go? It can't just be the logo. So on a 12, you are mystified, but have the feeling that being mystified is not due to you not understanding something, but rather you think that most people that create constructs would not understand. But it's easy enough. Nidus could probably explain it to you. It has the Golden Scythe logo on it.
Cool. And as I check it, there's nothing that I need to make safe. There's nothing that this thing was carrying in terms of like a weapon, an explosive device that I would recognize. Nothing that feels like a security breach. Because I'm going to perform this on the corpse behind me as well.
Okay.
No security breach here.
Okay.
But I'll say this. I don't think on that, even on a 12, I don't think you would be comfortable with the lack of a security breach. Meaning, if the engine's not here, it's somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it.
What's controlling it?
Anything?
It's probably one of those things. Like, again, this is the anime part of me talking. But if any of you guys are familiar with Naruto, there's an anime called Naruto, and in that anime, there's a character called Nagato. And what Nagato is able to do basically is, from a fixed location, it can be far, far, far away. He can take control of certain vessels that have, I forget if it's like his chakra ingrained in them or something. Long story short, he's able to control these vessels, and they're basically him. He is them, and there are several vessels that he can control, and he can use all of their eyes at once. So basically, anything that any of these vessels see, he can see all at once. So he's got multiple views simultaneously. He can control them all simultaneously. And each one of them has different powers. So long story short, I'm assuming it's one of those things where somebody who's very, very strong, which if we're going based off of the the arrogance of the wizards and mages and all this stuff from the last episode, there's somebody very strong that is able to do something like this. probably at a fixed location far away where nobody can really detect them or track them down in time to corner them, who's controlling all these Hamadots, or at least this Hamadot. So he may be the engine, so to speak, or maybe he has something there, kind of like a Wi-Fi extender or something, to where maybe he has something else there that he can connect to that, and then use that as sort of like a save point or an amplifier to control things within that radius, like a certain radius within that amplifier's range. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but you get what I'm saying. This is just me speculating, and we'll see if I'm right. Let's see.
Yeah. Got it. Anything on the anything on the body with the chunks of flesh missing? Runes in its back.
Let me ask this. So for this one, you can give me an investigation, but I'm going to tell you straight up that the biggest pressing thing about this is actually probably a medicine check.
Ooh.
So
that's a
if
new
you get a
medicine
super high
check.
investigation, I will give you some stuff. If you make a medicine check here, even a lower DC might produce more answers.
Let's do medicine check.
Go for it.
Okay.
I think that's more up his alley. He'll be able to get a decent. Nah.
6.
Call him Dr. Pinch.
I think that you know enough.
Never mind.
On a 6.
I was gonna say,
on a
oh,
6,
he
you
might
know
be
enough
alright.
First aid. You know enough to like triage a wound, right? And as you hands come down,
Stop bleeding.
That's all it takes.
Like pressure, yeah.
Good to go.
so you slit his throat. As you open just like the wound that you delivered to kill him, on the inside of his throat, it is riddled with growths. Growths. There are things on the inside of his throat that look a dark, pinkish gray, mottled. You're not a doctor, you'd have no words for these, but things of flesh that are not supposed to be here are here. It looks like this being clearly was powerful enough to cast and hold concentration on an invisibility spell, but looking at this, there's like something inside this man's body that should not be here.
Okay. I'm not gonna like that. So I will stand up. I'll kind of actually drag the body into the middle of the floor a little bit, even if it's leaving a trail. I'll exit the room and I'm gonna search immediately for Xerxes.
As you are preparing to exit the room, you hear a noise. A sending stone in your back pocket, in one of the secret compartments that you keep. A small sending stone is.
I'll retrieve it.
As you hold it
It's a
aloft
what
and
stone?
move it so that it can create noise.
It.
Sending stone is.
Ascending. Oh, this is the stuff that's basically the.
I'll retrieve it.
They're like little phones or ways to
As
communicate,
you
whatever.
hold it aloft and move it so that it can create noise, you hear a voice say, "This is Talon to Wingspan. Talon to Wingspan."
Yes.
I am in position.
Dude, Brennan's
I
so
am
good.
reporting.
For $1, you could have seen this early and gotten these other perks too. So become a member for just $1 is worth it.
That Egghead is preparing to break curfew and sneak out of the house to go to a party. And you said that she's not allowed to leave, but she's about to leave, and she has no idea that I'm here. She has no idea that I can see her. She's about to do it.
What the fuck? That voice was wild. That's outrageous.
This is your son,
My son,
Kier.
yeah.
This is your son, Kier. He's using code names for you, himself, and your
That's
daughter that you have
funny.
never heard before.
He
they
ratting
change a lot.
out
The
his
code names
sister
change a
like
lot
that?
depending
That's
on what he thinks is cooler
crazy.
that week. And you are standing in a room with a dead
That's
body, listening
crazy.
to your son describe your daughter about to head out to one of what have to presumably be many parties happening on the eve of the replenishment.
Sure.
Yeah.
Talon 2, this is Wingspan.
This
Say again,
is so stupid.
Wingspan. Communication's a little shoddy. Wow. Did you say Egghead is snuck out?
Affirmative.
I see her. She snuck downstairs into the kitchen, and she got a bottle normally reserved for Wingspan.
Bro, how old?
And Clear Eye.
Okay, so Clear Eye is his wife.
And I saw her take a swig from it.
Bro,
and then she made
what
face
a-
like
what
it
a
was really
rat,
bad.
bro.
And then she took another swig from
You
it.
can't
and
tell
then
him. You
made a
can't
face
do
like it
shit
was
around
even
him. He's probably
worse.
like a teacher's
I don't know
pet.
what it's
Come
about,
on.
but I know she's up to no good.
This is very good, Talent 2. Very good. You are in no way to engage with Egghead. She's dealing in dark magic.
I knew it.
Keep an eye, but keep your distance. I kind of look over my shoulder at the floor in the room. I'll be home when I can. I love you very much.
Is that, oh, I love you too, Dad. Sorry, I thought we were still doing.
No, Talent 2. Keep objective. Keep objective professionalism.
Yeah.
No telling who could be watching.
Copy that, Wingspan, and me too. Me too.
Thanks, son. I'll be home later.
Okay. Do you know if Mom's supposed to come home tomorrow, or is she gonna miss the whole? Is she gonna miss the whole replenishment?
Oh shit, Mom ain't even
I don't
home.
know.
That makes sense. That's why he's calling Wingspan.
I don't know. I think she's gonna try and make it back by tomorrow. Your mom's a very busy scientist, brilliant woman, as you know. But she works at her own pace. But I'm sure if she can be here, she will be.
Affirmative. We'll keep an eye to the skies, Pop, and Wingspan. And I'll tail Egghead and make sure that no funny business.
Okay, copy that, Talent 2. Don't
Sweet.
get too close and stay away from the evil, dark magic liquor drinks that she's.
Don't worry, Dad. I already collected a vial and I stored it in my evidence locker.
What a fucking nerd.
Talent 2, where would this evidence locker be located?
Yeah,
The
bro.
evidence locker is in a secret compartment.
Okay. I thought he was gonna tell him.
It's in a different place. Don't worry. There's nothing else is under my bed. I have to go. I gotta go real quick, but I'll talk to you soon.
All right, talk to you too, Talon 2. Over and out.
Over and out.
It's actually just over, but out.
It's like, it's under my bed. I mean, it's not under my bed. Don't worry about it. I gotta go.
Yeah, my son's loyal. My son's loyal. You know who's loyal.
He's a snitch.
That was amazing. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was great.
It's way cooler than my kid. That kid didn't get sucked into any portals. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
So a sobering moment.
A sobering moment.
Yeah.
However, you are back in the room and you were about to leave the door.
I put the sending stone back in my pocket. Deep breath. Exit the door. Look for our first night.
You exit. Pasha, out on the floor, you're still holding court. You see Sarah walking out towards the front entrance. And actually, I think I'll have you both of you joined, but we're going to wrap up what was happening outside as well. Outside the palazzo, we just had both of you interact with Purban Sewell before his
the
vanishing
goats.
in some movement of.
And you guys in the comment
divine
section
magic
did
and
confirm that
vanishing
is the
from
guy that I was
city
thinking about from the
I
show.
wanted to give you guys one last shot each.
So
at
yeah,
an
I'm
insight
interested in
check
him.
against Purvan.
But this is like
Just
prior
add
to
some
that,
context,
like
he told some pretty heavy
Sorry,
stuff
hold
to
on.
you guys.
so basically I was told that what we see in the show is him during the calamity, whereas this is prior to the calamity, so he's not as strong as he is shown to be in the show yet in the campaign. But once we get to that point, I guess when stuff starts to hit the fan, I guess things happen. Maybe he gets a couple of W's under his belt or something. He gets some power ups. So that's how he becomes so goated. And I was also told that the reason that he is so loved by the crew, like when he was announced, like when his name came up and everybody started like geeking out, was because he was only mentioned, I think, what, like, what did they say? I think the person stated that it was like maybe around 7 years ago. So it's been some time, it's been a minute, and apparently it was like a joke, like his name being Pervon. Maybe I'm assuming they made a joke like Perv on. So I'm assuming it was some shit, something goofy, like that, and it was always funny. But it's been so long since they heard that name, and they know like how strong the dude is, I guess. And since this is a prequel prior to that, um, they didn't really have much information on how he got there and the deep lore. So they were just excited to see that he's now, I guess, being introduced, and they're going to learn more about him. So it was just a treat, just all around for everyone. So, yeah, dope comment. And like I said, I appreciate you for leaving comments like that. If you know who you are, who left that comment, I read all your comments, guys. I might not respond to all of them, but I do. So I appreciate all you guys. You guys have been super helpful, super informative. Anyways, let's continue.
But
Feel
I
free to
just
leave more
wanted
comments,
to
by the
see
way.
If there's any last.
Little
Nothing too
thing we
spoilery.
can glean.
Yes.
Well, I got a 24,
But 16.
but if I fail, I can add another d4 to it.
On a 16, I think you recall the main thing that you recalled before that Xerxes recognized, which is the one thing that he was hinting at he would not say.
Yep.
The words "betrayer gods" never left his lips.
I'm absolutely fixating on that.
I think that on a 16 insight, because that dwells within your mind. Why does Xerxes think he didn't say it?
Because he's scared. Because he's a coward.
There is something you recognize in Pervon, that as different as he feels he is from the mages of Avalier, he actually shares in common with them. And I think Xerxes feels this way, both of some of the archmages of the Septarian and beyond, and also this champion of the gods. Some ability that the mind, the heart, the soul are in control of what is real. And that if you do not speak it, it will not be. But some things are.
Kind of like, don't
regardless
put
if
that
you
out
are
there in the
afraid to
universe.
name
Don't say it, it won't happen. Don't name them, they won't come. That
On
sort
a
of thing.
24 insight, you've interviewed a lot of people, and Pervon told you a great deal. More knowing the fact that the prime deities cannot see what is unfolding is pretty profound in and of itself. But Pervon was also speaking very cryptically. And as a master interviewer, someone that's interviewed people a lot of times, I think that your insight into Pervon, right, and if he was holding on to anything else, I think on 24 insight, you don't think he was. In your experience, people that have actual secrets, people that are being really secretive, deflect. If they have something they don't want you to know, they start talking about something else. People that act cryptic are often concealing not information, but the lack thereof. And you think Pervon's carefully chosen words were not protecting dangerous knowledge, but were protecting pride. Something's going on, and he didn't
doesn't
know
know.
what it was and didn't have the ability to speak to it. That's at least from your experiences as a reporter, that when people are
See, he's trying to be like speaking riddles, but he's speaking in riddles and being vague because he's like, I can't let them know that I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But in a way, I can understand why, like, I'm not saying it's right, given the grave circumstances, although I'm pretty sure at this point, nobody really knows except for really, well, I think they're starting to get a hint, but the only one that really knew that something was amiss, initially, we're going to assume was Pervon. Obviously, he was sent by the matrons to get info. And then also Xerxes, because of the dream he had, right? He has always been uneasy. Obviously, we've we see that he's got some good intuition, and the reason that I think it makes more sense for Provence to be like, well, I don't really know, is that everybody else being as cocky and arrogant as they are, it's going to give them even more reason to dismiss him and maybe not give him the answers to things he seeks or the information to the things he wants to know about. They already look down upon him so much, and he's probably like, dang, if I let them know that I'm not too sure, they're going to be like, well, why should I divulge anything to you anyways? We didn't like you anyways because you're some lowly dude who's under a god when we're basically as strong as gods anyways. And, you know, we just don't respect you in that way. We don't respect your god, definitely. So why would we tell you anything, especially if you don't even know what's going on? Like, you know what I mean? So I can definitely see that. I think it's a matter of pride, but I also think like it's a matter of if I let them know that I don't know much, they might be turned off even more so by me because I'm so ignorant to what's going on here.
That guarded, it's often because they're in free fall as well.
Okay.
As you enter back into the palazzo, the four of you converge together.
Based on what I just gathered,
Yeah.
I know where Nidus went.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back and meet you here. I'm gonna go get him and
Now?
bring him. Yes.
Shouldn't we get as many of us together as possible
Right.
first?
So I'm gonna go bring him.
Where did he go?
And I'm gonna telepathically conjure Tempest.
Oh,
That's cool.
Tempest alights down here. Incredible. As Tempest alights, it takes off with you into the air.
I'll be back.
well, okay. I mean, all right.
I think I'm actually going to just allow this to come down to a roll of the dice to see, because Nidus was also heading out post haste.
Right.
So we're going to let this be a roll of the dice. And Nidus also headed out a little while ago, prior to
Right.
the conversation
This
with
whole
Perv.
interaction.
Yeah.
He took off ahead of me.
He's wearing dress shoes.
So
There's no tread on this.
we're just going to make this a straight up dexterity check. So a dexterity check from Xerxes and a dexterity check from Nidus.
Dex on Dex.
to see if I can find him. Dex.
Yeah, to see if you can, or rather to see if you can beat him to his destination and get and intercept him.
Flat Dex. Is it my Griffins? Dex check or movement?
Oh, this is actually just your. Oh, actually, yeah, you can use Tempest, so you can use Tempest's dexterity if you prefer.
Flat Dex.
Wow, that's
Flat dex,
cool.
that's it.
Okay, I didn't know that you can have like a separate, but it makes
Baby,
sense.
You got this. I don't want to get caught.
You won.
Let me see that boy. I got you. You got this.
This guy.
Oh, what did you get?
I rolled a 1, so.
Oh, thank God. I rolled a 3.
Oh boy.
Well, I mean, it's a 3 total with my.
Well, so but mine's a total of 7.
Okay, you win.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank God. Yeah, that's what heavy plate will get you.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely
My
perfect.
dress shoes, my untreaded dress shoe, my beat your heavy plate.
Incredible. So we actually are going to move. So Nidus, you take off. You're off in Tempest,
Yeah.
flying as fast as you can. But you get to the scythe really quickly. I'm actually going to say on that dexterity check, you just grab a porter. You just boom, dimension door straight to the scythe.
Oh,
You
dimension
walk
door,
in,
forgot about
You are
that.
back in the central warehouse. There's a bunch of like confetti on the floor. There's like a couple little bits of like popcorn and stuff from like food carts that went out. It's like a ghost town in here now because everything is out on this. This is like put on a show, right?
Damn.
As you do, you land here and see off in a corner talking to a couple of different sort of like stevedores, essentially, that there is Alessander, who looks up. As it has become night, you see that he actually has a small little candle lit on the top of his conical hat to sort of light his way. You see he turns around and says, Guildmaster, hello, I wasn't expecting you back so
Alistair, a moment, please.
Oh, very well. 1 minute, my friends.
Oh, well, it was incredible. The Sphinx improvised an entire monologue.
And we missed it?
The glory of Avalier. He's only been here for one day. It was I was very touched, actually.
Do people
The
know
Sphinx
that-
put
do
on,
people
brother. Hey,
applaud? I mean,
it was a
long-
boom,
Was it
bro.
like a slow?
He owed it.
Did he do it along the route, or did he stop at one point and kind of like?
He lost the crowd in the middle, but he.
I mean, that's gonna happen, you know.
But he got to the end and roared really loud.
That's
And
what we
people just
wanted.
remember the end.
That's
you
what
know,
we
they
wanted.
remember the middle.
Of
so-
course. Well, I'm glad it was a success. Alessandra, I need 4 automatons right now.
Guildmaster, I truly loathe to be this person.
Alessandra,
Impossible. It is the eve of the
Nothing is
replenishment.
possible.
Everything is spoken for, my lord.
Well, can we allocate? Can we shift 4 over right now?
I can find some off duty. Well first of
Yes,
all,
yes.
would Hodmadods do?
Do I know if Hodmadods would do?
No, this is quite complicated.
Alessandra, I appreciate
Yeah.
the thought.
What's
But
happening?
we need more. We need better. Alessandra,
Caro Elks? Colossi? You know that those will not even fit in the.
got it.
You see, he look. Give me either Arcana or History yourself,
Great. Happily.
Because there's stuff that Alessander is not going to bring up because he just doesn't have the bravery to bring it up.
21 Arcana.
There are automata that you guys are working on, that you're building under contract for the city, that are prototypes, that are not that literally you're going to use the month on the ground to like make active, but they are ready to go right now.
Yes. Alessandra, I've had a thought. Let's, can you requisition in your special way 4 of the prototypes we've been working on for the city, right? I'll take them this evening, and we'll likely have them back on the morrow, if not the following day.
Likely.
He looks at you and says, "You want me to go and activate the taxmen?"
Yes.
The taxman?
That's a fucking code name.
You see,
Yeah, it definitely
It
is.
makes me nervous when you write things down.
you see, he says,
My lord, I can activate them, but these are supposed to be completely mint preserved for trials during the.
Of course, Alessandra. However,
This will be the first time they have been.
yes, Alessandra, I understand, right?
all right.
But you have to understand, we are on the precipice of something truly magnificent, right? And this is, we will find a way to refurbish them in such a way that no one ever notices, Alessandra. It will not be a problem. And if it is, that is on me. I will carry that weight.
Okay, buddy, because I have a feeling things are going to go left.
I cannot fathom.
Wouldn't
the
be
weight
a
of the
calamity
carry.
if it didn't.
I hope you are all right, my friend, and know what you are doing.
Bro, what is happening? What is going on that's so like crazy right
So
now?
please, activate them. I've already dallied enough.
he walks with you into a chamber that leads into a sunken subterranean area, and he arrives at. Warehouse isn't appropriate. You can't see the other end of this room. It stretches into the city for maybe a quarter of a mile, and you see fleets of arcane engines, all keyed to emblems. You see the arcane equivalent of server banks, upon which all of the engines that do not exist in the bodies of these constructs are all kept here in the headquarters of the Golden Scythe. And you see Alessander walk up to 4 of them so new that some tools still rest on an artificer's workbench nearby. Quickly moving from the chamber of engines, you walk back up to an area of the warehouse, completely dark. Alessander, the candle on his hat lights, and you see hulking at about 12 feet tall, massive steel constructs.
These are the taxmen?
Step up. They look brutish and hulking, but you know that the engines that power their cognition, not sentient, but their perception, their reflexes, their instincts, their ability to follow out complex will. It's top of the line and state of the art. Another testament to your genius. And those blades on their back, sheathed. You know what those can do too.
Bro, he's got like some fighter androids, cyborgs with
What would be the quickest way to the arcane heart that doesn't involve me marching 4 12-foot automaton through the center of the city?
You could pull a porter. A porter steps in, and Alessander looks up. This porter is like this young, thatch-haired girl. She's got the bellhop uniform on. Looks up. See, Alessander looks at her as she walks the automatons and creates the gate for you to go down to the Meridian Labyrinth. And you see, he looks at you and casts the message cantrip in reference to this porter. Should I put the young porter on Archmage Porco's list of our friends with,
of course,
bad memory? Yes.
She'll see to it.
What the fuck? You gonna erase her memory, dog? That's easy.
Y'all are evil.
That's crazy.
He don't know. He don't know.
You don't get it. You don't
All right, so again, anime comparison. There's an anime called Bleach. In the anime called Bleach, there is a very eccentric character, a little bit like Nidus, but whereas Nidus is very likable, personable, is able to mingle with different people, and is approachable. There's a character in an anime called Bleach called Mayuri, who is a scientist of sorts, and ain't no shame in his game about it, like I'm assuming Nidus has. Nidus is a little more inconspicuous and undercover, but Mayuri makes some pretty interesting inventions at the expense of certain moral standards. I'm assuming that Nidus is in a similar vein now, where there's obviously some stuff that he's working on that not too many people know about, that like behind the scenes probably some making some weapons of war or destruction to sell to people. And the Hadmadads are the face of these inventions that can be used, right? But the Hadmadads are more like, hey, we're servants, we'll do what you say, we're not gonna hurt anybody. Whereas these are probably the taxmen, are probably there to enforce some sort of a law or impose some sort of force onto those who may be distrusting or rebellious towards certain powerful individuals. And they're there to make sure that these rebels get in line, maybe. Or maybe things haven't gotten to that point yet, but they will be used in that effect. And maybe Nidus isn't as likable as we think he is. Maybe he's maybe there's a darker side that we don't know yet, or that I don't know. These are just speculations that I'm having. Let's continue.
You don't understand what we're working on, okay?
I'm an innocent reporter.
I'm an innocent reporter, goddammit. Cool. And you vanish into the Meridian Labyrinth. Back up. So, Xerxes, you are flying straight there right now, but we're actually going to jump back to the Palazzo real quick with Loquacious, Sarah, and Paisha all together.
And then he just got on his Pegasus, or whatever it is called, and then flew away.
Ain't that nice?
But anyway, this Pervon fellow seemed all sorts of out of sorts, and it seems to be pretty heavy, whatever's going on.
What did you find?
Is anybody trying to sneak a listen, stay close, act like they're not eavesdropping?
Do whatever you want to do to find out. Give me perception checks.
Don't try.
It means maybe.
25.
Oh, nice.
I would say that anybody trying to sneak up would have to be invisible, but even that wouldn't fucking work. So, I think you might want to. I think that with that 25, you probably move the conversation back to the Ivy table.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I turn and I announce to the room, another round on the porcos.
You see, everyone cheers and laughs and makes merry. Hey, to the porcos. You see the one guy who cheered earlier before us says, the porcos more like the party. Coos, yes!
Nice,
yes! Throws another down the hatch. Love that guy. Great energy.
nice. Great energy, man.
generous.
Super supportive. Probably doesn't even know where he is right now.
The round of drinks.
The drunker they are,
Yeah.
the less they'll notice.
Yep.
Let's go.
So we get back to the table. And I'll say, guard your faces. Don't give anything away with your expressions.
My face turns into
As his
your
eyes
face.
go in different directions, probably. What did he say?
I steel myself. Anything away with your expressions.
My face turns into your face.
Oh, that's so cool.
I steel myself. Right down to the teeth. God, it's uncanny. No, I don't have any teeth.
All incisors. Big, flat, white teeth all the way around.
Just big, not smaller. Is it a big? Breaking all the
That would be
rules.
crazy.
I'm afraid the game is afoot. The rats are already inside the fucking. I went to go investigate the Hamidar that fell in the room. As I was doing that, I became aware of an invisible force that was behind me. I spun and struck down an individual. He's sealed in the room. He was covered with runes carved into his body, pieces of his flesh
Killed
missing.
someone at Paisha's party?
I did. There's no one important, okay? I wouldn't repeat that
I'm
mistake.
sure his mother thought that he was important.
Loquacious, it wouldn't be a first.
Oh,
As I was
shit.
doing that, I spun and saw a figure in the mirror. I saw Vespin Chloris, or at least an augmented visage of him. And he turned and looked and said that we would never make the Wild Mother's embrace. The mirror shattered and he
Which
left.
I've been
Now,
told in the
I
comment
haven't
section is
had any
basically,
fucking
you ain't
shit
touching down.
before you
You ain't gonna get there on time, buddy. By the
But I
time
think
y'all touch down, by the time
This
everything's said and
situation
done, you're gonna be too
requires
late.
a higher level of our attention.
He said we wouldn't make the Wild Mother's embrace, which you interpret to mean landfall,
Yeah.
which is in a few hours.
Yes.
So we've got Pervon, works for a god, says bad things are coming from bad gods soon. This man, Vespin Chloris, says we won't even make it to land. My ex-wife ran off to do something. Well, I see one clear way forward. We have to tell no one of this. Do nothing. I will make the normal announcement as we get closer to the replenishment and make sure that everyone is happy and secure and feels like everything's normal, and we'll just sort of ignore it for now. You can tell people on your end and, work on it or whatever, do whatever research and investigating you have to do. But for now, we just make sure that everyone stays calm and do nothing.
Cool.
Do you agree?
What panic will cause chaos, right? But then again, if we don't do anything,
I do agree that panic.
are we
never
solving
solves
the
any
problem?
problems. We should maintain a level of control of the population.
We can maintain control, maybe try to do something, because if we just sit there twiddling your thumbs, it's not going to happen. Like, we're not going to succeed or save anything.
It's a decision that we all need to make together. Leyren left. Xerxes also left.
Leyren took the bow, correct?
Yes. And Nidus.
Nidus is off doing his thing. I don't even know where he went.
We need to
I
alert.
think I know what Nidus is up to. If what you say is true, the fate of Avalier could lay in the hands of Leyren.
And as Pacia says that, we move deep underneath the Meridian Labyrinth.
Your loving ex-wife.
Your loving ex-wife.
All right, so I think I'm gonna stop this part here because we're about to get to something else important. But I think I'm gonna stop this part here. All right, guys, that was my reaction to the first part of episode 2. If you made it this far, please leave a like, maybe even subscribe, and maybe become a member of the channel for just $1 a month. You get perks, which include early access. It's just $1, and it helps me a ton. And yeah, it's an extra way to show support. So if you've been liking my stuff, highly consider it. Anyways, all that being said, I'm about to get into my thoughts, so if you're interested, here we go. This is a very interesting episode, okay? We didn't get much in the way of action. Like, last episode ended on a little bit of action, a little bit of some crazy stuff had happened, right? We found out that the Hamadad had growths on their neck, basically a golden scythe symbol with basically no type of, like, for lack of a better word, I'm going to use what Brennan said, an engine or any or other sort of, like, circuitry or anything that this, society or whatever would expect there to be inside of this Hamadad for it to move and perform the actions and the services that it would normally provide, right? Seems like I'm getting like voodoo vibes. Like, it was just some voodoo was basically used on this thing, and it's like, was able to be used as like a vessel. Like I said, it reminded me a lot of like vessels that were used in Naruto by Nagato. And, there's many other examples of these sorts of things happening in stories with characters and their abilities. It's the quickest thing that came to mind, but that's like the sort of vibe that I'm getting, that somebody was controlling this thing from a ways away, at least outside of the perception of the powerful ass people that are there. And this entity, this person, whatever it is, right, must be powerful itself. Now, it may be using some sort of like an amplifier or something, like I said, in order to power this Hamadad. Maybe there are others that they didn't even, notice that were there, because if one of them is being controlled that way, there could be another one, so that's very interesting. I just got like those kind of vibes from that Hamadad. The funny part that we got, which was comedy, was Brennan playing I forget what the son's name was, but Kerr, right? Sarah was doing the whole over and out walkie-talkie thing with his son Kerr, and Kerr sounded hilarious. He's a rat, he's a snitch, all right, but hey, he's doing what he thinks is right, so whatever, you know what I mean? That's crazy how he's ratting out on his sister like that. He's like, man, if I can't have fun, nobody can. Definitely a teacher's pet, right? But yeah, so he's got a good relationship with his son, maybe not so much with his daughter, I guess, or maybe she's just rebellious, but a good thing to see here, or something that's interesting, is that his wife, codenamed Clear Eye, is a scientist. Okay, so he's a high-ranking officer slash detective, right? His wife is some sort of a scientist who's away during the replenishment. There's just, I feel like she's gonna play some sort of a role. Um, I could be wrong, but her being a scientist in this story, as this is happening, her being dropped like that, and like details of her being a scientist explained in this episode, couldn't have been for nothing. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna come back to her, but we'll see. But I definitely will keep her in the back of my mind because I'm pretty sure we are gonna run into her again. The biggest thing were the taxmen, and like I said, I get like this like Mayuri, like sort of like a silver tongued wolf in sheep's clothing sort of vibe from Nidus, as far as like these Hamadas, because he's got so much money, so many connections, and it seems clear to me that he's doing something that not a lot of people know about, and that they want a lot of people to know about. And it seems a little mischievous, a little off, a little corrupted, a little crooked. Um, I don't know exactly what he's playing at with these things. Um, if maybe he was just commissioned or paid to make these things by somebody else higher, and he's just like, bro, I don't care. I'm getting money. I don't care what happens, like sort of thing. Like, um, you know, kind of having that facade of like, oh, we got these Hamadas that are nice servants, but behind the scenes he's actually making weapons for war, so on and so forth, and profiting off of it, and just kind of laying back like, hey, listen, I got all these resources, I get all this money, which will allow me to further my scientific, technological, magical, mystical advancements for myself, which gets my money more, my company more money, or my organization more money, my image more money, my branding more money, so on and so forth. And maybe he's one of those people that just doesn't care who he sells his products to, um, if he just gets money off it. Or it could be one of those situations where he realizes I may have sold some of my stuff to the wrong people, and now they're reverse engineering something else out of it, and it's up to me to track this down before anybody hears about it, and my reputation gets stained along that way. So it could be something like that too. It could be something like that, but we'll see. Um, but those are the main things I want to talk about so far in my thoughts, man. So far, this is great. As always, I love the way they bounce off each other. Let me know if I was right as far as like looking at their outfits. It just seemed to me like they were trying to like uh what's the word? I guess symbolize their characters in some sort of a way, or cosplay in like a minor way, some more than others. Let me know if I was right or wrong. But other than that, guys, leave your thoughts. Continue to leave the supportive comments. You guys have been nothing but great. And other than that, man, have a good morning, afternoon, or night. Stay safe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.